Hello and welcome to this workshop on digital skills, finding your starting point. This workshop's going to cover digital skills as a concept, the areas that make up your digital skills, and how you can review your own skills to then further improve upon those and build upon those. This session's not going to cover the individual areas in the sense of here is what you do to improve these, as these are covered in different workshops. We're just going to cover it as a very general topic in this workshop. So getting started, what are digital skills? Well, digital skills are the ability to use technology confidently, critically, and responsibly in work, learning, and daily life. It's really important to note that digital skills are not gained inherently, they are learned. So wherever you are with your digital skills, there's always an opportunity to learn and expand. It's really important to know that digital skills are not just turn a computer on, but is actually using the digital software or the digital technology to actually do something that will improve both your daily life, but also could impact your personal, social skills, as well as your working environment as well. It's really important to keep developing these skills as technology changes all the time, so you need to be able to adapt to new changes in technology down the line and prepare yourself for any challenges that might arise. So what is an example of a digital skill? Well, let's take a core skill such as letter writing, which is and always has been a core part of day-to-day life, where you take a message that you want to convey to another person and you write that up and compose that in a structured way. All we're doing now is we're taking the digital aspect and writing that up electronically. So that means we're going into our emails, we're able to create an account, compose that email on the digital device. But it's also thinking about what more we can do. So originally, just letter writing, it's pen on paper, but now we can do things like attach documents, we can send URLs to people so they can access different things. We can also attach videos, maybe you want to attach sort of a quick GIF. So it's knowing all of these aspects and adding those in to develop onto that skill. Now, there's lots of different examples as well. So in everyday skills, it could be just using an app, making your password secure. It could also be things like online banking and being able to attach attachments to emails. In the workplace, it's things like spreadsheets, video meetings, tasks, and project management tools. While in your personal life, it could be things that are creative, such as making posters, podcasts, or portfolio websites. So why are digital skills important? Well, as you can see on the screen, there's a number of different reasons that digital skills are important. They really do help enable more streamlined ways to work, not only with developing time management and things like remote learning, especially after COVID and the lockdowns has massively changed these things, but a lot of jobs, and by a lot I mean around 92% of all jobs require some form of digital skills. So that could be just responding to emails, but it could also mean filling out Excel forms to be able to track how a company's doing. It could be helping a customer with through customer service, which is now online. So there's lots of different tasks and different things that your job and your workplace might require of you, especially when it comes to digital skills. When we're thinking about things like emergency services, for example, if we take an ambulance service, for example, they're going to use a tablet to go through a patient's documents to understand what that patient needs. Policing, it's very similar. You're going to have to log a suspect potentially. So they're going to have to go into the system and you're going to have to be able to take all of their information, log that through a form, and then put that onto the system for further inspection later on. So even though some things might not seem like digital skills, they can be digital skills because you're using a piece of technology or a piece of software or something that helps reinforce what you're doing. I'm going to break these down into 6 core areas. Now, this is taken from JISC, which is a body that does a lot of work around this area, and they've provided us with 6 core areas, and we're going to break this down here. Now, the first area we're going to look at is digital creation, problem solving, and innovation. Digital creation, as it sounds, it's creating content, so this can be creating images for social media, but it's also very simple things like being able to take a photo with your phone camera. That's part of digital creation. Another facet of this is problem solving. So this is very big and I think it's very often overlooked, but it's being able to find digital evidence or testing solutions out on your own. So it's being able to come across a problem and think, well, how do I solve this? Now, this can be things like, oh, I'll just go onto Google and we'll Google a response and see what the answer is. But it could also be things like maybe someone sent you a simulation. So you have a VR headset or you have something on your phone like a tour of a building, and you're able to then use that application to tour around that building. And another part of this bracket is being innovative, okay? So it's being able and being willing to try new practices. So these could be new applications, it could be a new way to work with technology. So it's being able to be quite flexible and understanding of new tech. We want to approach technology as not, oh no, it's a new piece of technology, I'm going to panic. It's, okay, this might be, a little different than what I'm working with, or I might not be too confident with it at the moment, but let's try it. Let's see if I can get on board with it. And that feeds into our next digital skill, being digital learning and development. So as it suggests, it's being able to develop your own skills and your own skill set to be able to learn and reinforce what you're doing. So this could be learning a complete new skill. So let's say you want to be an aspiring video editor. It's being able to go out and finding those resources online to then learn the software that you're using. But it might be something like you're learning a skill that is offline, but you can learn through things that you find digitally. So this might be finding an e-resource that you can read through like a book online. It could be watching a podcast or a video that's explaining a skill and helping you develop those skills from there. The next bit is something that's really important and I think is often overlooked, and I really just want to highlight this, but it's digital identity and well-being. When we're thinking about digital identity, we are thinking about the footprint that you leave behind whenever you interact with something. Even though there is a sense of anonymity when you're using the internet, because you can create an account and you can hide behind a profile essentially, you do leave a digital footprint which can be traced back to you. So it's being able to understand and almost utilize that in a positive way. So how can I create a trail of myself that goes through the internet where people can find me and can find what I'm getting up to, which then reflects nicely into sort of my social aspect of building connections with other people. As well as that, it's also making sure that you look after your physical and mental well-being while using technology. Things like social media can be very impactful to your mental health. You can get quite invested into it, which at times can be a positive, especially if you're trying to build out a social media brand. But it can be quite negative where you fall down this rabbit hole. So it's being able to look out for yourself. Also understand some of the physical aspects of being digital all day. Unfortunately I am a glasses wearer, and that's because I've spent way too much time looking at a computer screen. And the blue light does burn little holes, very tiny holes into your eyeballs, which can lead to various factors of eye health deterioration. So it's being aware and taking frequent breaks and understanding how and where and why you should be using technology in a certain way. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use technology, just be aware of some of the health risks that can come with that as well. So the next bit is looking at information, data and media literacy, and this is being able to find, evaluate, organize and share information. Okay, so it's being able to collate, manage access to digital data in spreadsheets, dashboards, databases, but also the capacity to critically receive and respond to a range of messages in the media. This is really important because, as we know, the internet is accessible to the majority of people, but not only that, the majority of people can upload and spread information online as well. So being able to critically analyze what people are saying and understand what the information is in front of you is really important, not only to feed into your own knowledge, but also to evaluate what's out there, to really understand what's happening around you. And if a source is correct, it might be dis or misinformation. The next skill is communication and collaboration. So when we're talking about this, it is communication using media and networks to communicate effectively with digital media and spaces such as text-based forums. So these can be things like Microsoft Teams, for example. We're looking at digital collaboration, so this means we're able to participate in the digital world with other people. This could be across the globe, it could be locally, but it's being able to do something in real time and having an effect with other people. It's also being about effectively sharing these tools with other people as well to really impact and reinforce the workplace. We're also looking at digital participation. So this is how you are able to facilitate or maybe join a digital network and then participate in both the social and cultural life, but using digital media. So I have a great example here of what this might be. You might be looking for a tabletop board game such as Dungeons and Dragons. And with the advancements in technology, we're able to play that virtually now, which is really cool. So it's being able to find those groups, connect with them, and then play the game digitally. And this all builds into your digital proficiency and productivity, which essentially is taking all those skills and rolling it into one nice package. So it's the ability to use these digital devices, applications and software, but then also how you use your digital skills to accomplish a task that you've set out. So where should you start? So regardless of where you are in your digital journey, you might be very new or you might not be very confident with digital tech, which is perfectly fine. You might be a master at digital technology and you've been doing it since a child, which is also fine. So where should you start? Well, for those who are not as confident as other people, we have created a digital basics page which covers all of the foundation skills for your digital skills. So this is things like turning on a computer, how to set up a monitor, a keyboard, a mouse, what is the internet, for example. So you'll be able to find all of that information there, and it is a great starting point for those who might be a little bit wary of what technology can do. For people who are a little bit more advanced, we do have the JISC Discovery Tool, and the Discovery Tool is a really great piece of kit which allows you to assess yourself and your digital skills, and it will create a nice spider diagram just so you understand where you are with those different sectors that we've just mentioned in the previous slides. It gives you a nice badge to put on your LinkedIn to say that you're working towards improving your digital skills, but more importantly, it gives you a vast library of resources that you can access, which will then help you develop in the areas that might be a little bit low. Once you've done that, another great place to start, especially if you're looking to build upon skills that will then impact your future workplace, is that we do have Get Ahead exams. Now, these are exams around different applications that you can sit. The primary two that I would advise to take is you have Microsoft exams, which covers things like Microsoft Word, Outlook and Excel, PowerPoint. So these are very core digital programs that are seen in the workplace. And for creative students, we also have things like the Adobe package. So these are Photoshop, Premiere, After Effects, Illustrator, which allows you to sit an exam, get qualified in them. They're all certified by Adobe or Microsoft, and it will really help boost your CV. Additionally, we do have other workshops. So not only do we have digital skills workshops, which will cover these skills in more detail individually, we also have things like academic skills workshops, information literacy workshops, and things like that, and different guides. So be sure to check those out. You'll be able to see a small catalogue on YouTube, but we also run these workshops live, which are more discussion based. So please feel free to book on and join those as well.